All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this Boudoir photography biz. We're actually going to check out, see if it's local and city, combined local city search here has BSS, yes or no. So we're here in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. And, more about that. Pinned post, pinned video, home video, whatever. And that's because the FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. Those that are rising are doing a good job bringing in people from the entire intent ladder here, from the left high intent all the way to the right, the lowest intent peeps, or at least generating awareness. And the ones that are falling are, missing some chunks of intent, some intent chunk somewhere, causing them to fall. So here we're focusing on BSS. We're way over on the left, the basically the intent ladder. The highest intent people is people searching social search on all the social networks or on Google for, boudoir photo shoot in their city. That's what we focus on here. Then way at the end, focus on BLCS, Boudoir Low Click Syndrome. That's the other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. On our other profiles, where right now we're only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. But those are the lowest intent people, but that's the largest group in every city. The people that are not searching for boudoir photo shoot right now. So we're only talking about the two kind of extremes at the moment. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. As when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0, 1 slots on page 1 of Google. If we got 0 slots, we're dead. That's because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means this is who we care about. This is the bulk of the market, approximately 80% of the market. And we're invisible to them if we're not on page 1. So 0 slots, we're dead. 1 slot, we're also basically dead because we're looking the same as every other boudoir photographer who also has 1 slot. And then, there's 10 slots Google page 1 organic. So, if everyone's a boudoir photographer, they all got 1 slot, then basically the buyer's just going to click down through, open everyone's link, everyone's website on page 1, because we assume they won't go to page 2. And, contact everyone, price quote everyone, price shop everyone, whatever. And so 1 slot's not good either. We want to actually, our goal is to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10, because we'll actually be kicking off our competitors off page 1 a large amount, and we'll actually be standing out, most likely being the only one with 3 out of 10 links there. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Extremely common, but not normal, is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are, one, basically everyone knows about, market saturation, and one basically nobody knows about, the false belief of page 1 equality. So first we'll hit market saturation. It seems to happen kind of every week. Someone gets a new iPhone, start up their Google My Business profile, throw up their website saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots, saturating the market, more sellers for the same number of buyers. Or someone gets a new camera, then they start posting in the mom Facebook groups saying that they offer boudoir photo shoots now. So market saturation means more sellers to the same number of buyers, making it harder for every current boudoir photographer that is a seller. Now, this next one is massive, the false belief of page 1 equality. So this is, from what I've seen, the #1 killer boudoir photography businesses, because this is assuming, so the belief of page 1 equality is, which I'll show as a false belief, is we're falsely believing that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google search. And so, if you got 1 slot on page 1, cool. If the market gets saturated, you get pushed down. Now you're on page 2. Oh, that's fine. Everyone gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. That's simply how it is. This is a false belief. It's false because Google will actually give as many page 1 links as to the person who puts in the effort to acquire them. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 page 1 links to 9 out of 10 page 1 links. Literally, I own 90% of the organic search surface in 10 days Why? Because I wanted those slots and I went and took them. I put in the effort to take them. Google gives the slots to those who put in the efforts, puts in the effort to take them. We'll see that in like 3 or 4 pictures from now, or maybe, yeah, somewhere around that number. So it's a false belief, which makes people do nothing. If they believe this, that everyone's entitled to 0, 1 slot, every boudoir photographer is entitled to 0, 1 page slots, page 1 slots on Google, they'll do nothing. They'll be like, oh, this is reality operating normally. Yeah, I was there, I got kicked off. Hopefully someone shuts down their website, so maybe Google will bring me back on. No, incorrect. Google wants to give these slots to those who want to put in the effort to take them. And because people go on page 2, they disappear, and eventually their business disappears too. Because again, if you're on page 2 or later, you're invisible to approximately 80% of the Google searchers. So the bulk of the market. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we got our building up our universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So, and disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the canary in the coal mine for eventually a disappearing boudoir photography business, is if we got 0, 1 slots on page 1, eventually we'll be kicked off to page 2, and then it's all downhill from there. So it's a solution. We got the solution here. BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka our S-cubed methodology. And we know this because we invented it. That's what we've been using. So this is exactly what I used to go from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in 10 days. And it works with saturating social search, the high intent keywords, saturating those. So people search on social, they find us, the bulk, hopefully all, we're like the only ones showing up. And as a result, that flows through to Google page 1 search. Dominating Google page 1 search is the outcome, the outflow of dominating or saturating social search. So it all flows, saturating social search is like the river at the top of the mountain, the glacier at the top of the mountain that's melting, and the river at the bottom, the Amazon River, is all that work saturating page 1 on Google. And I know this because I've done it. Now, once true with the S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. Nice. We're no longer at 0, 1 slots on page 1. We do want to hit the GBC minimum, though, with 3 out of 10 slots on page 1. And that's because if we got 3 out of 10 slots on page 1, we're definitely crushing the people that got 0 slots. We're definitely crushing the people that only got 1 slot, because they look like nothing compared to us. And it's very rare someone actually has 2 slots. But even in that case, we are looking greater than them because they only got 2 slots. We got 3. People subconsciously wonder, why is this photographer why does Google keep pushing them? They must be good and give them so many slots on page 1. The extra bonus of using the S-cubed methodology is it kicks competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Is the same for social search, but kind of what we're talking about on Google. It's only 10 organic slots page 1. Kicks them off, and as a result, we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches. So approximately 80%, the bulk of the market's never going to see those competitors if they go to page 2, which means we're not being price shopped against them. We're not being, price shop, price compared, getting quotes from everyone. I mean, if we can get 5 links organic page 1 on Google, that means only 5 links left for other competitors, and we've kicked off 4 other competitors back onto page 2. Instead of 9 competitors, we're competing against only 5 other peeps. Get smaller the more we dominate page 1. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. Okay, people can actually see us, because hopefully we've hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So it's the goal, it's kind of the minimum, hitting 3 out of 10 links on page 1 to become visible, or confidently visible. And we care about the 3 out of 10 number because if we hit 3 out of 10, we're probably, treading water. Probably not disappearing, we're at minimum treading water, and also could possibly be most likely growing. Because remember, this is the result, the outflow of dominating social search. So anytime if we're multiple slots page one on Google, we already got way more than that. Multiple slots page one, many more on these social networks. People search these highest intent keywords. So Google is kind of a less than filter. So this is our universe here. Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. It's fine, we got the solution now. Utilize S-cube methodology, achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. So now my own results using this, you can see I wanted to rank for this term BLCS boudoir. So we'll go down to the organic slots. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Organic slot 2, me. Organic slot 3, me. Organic slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. Dude, I did this in 10 days. Got 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So I know for a fact S-cubed methodology got results for me. And I achieved this by social search saturation, S-cubed methodology. Now, main event here, we're going to check out this boudoir photography business, going to check out their local and city search. Looks like we got them combined here. Their local and city search, and see if they got BSS, yes or no. So we're going to Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right, so we're over here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Let's see what we got. Kalamazoo. All right, boom, we got one. All right, we got two. All right, so we got. All right, so for local / city search combined, we got 2 out of 10 page one slots in Google. So do not have BSS, but we are not meeting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search, and so these are the results that we see. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've done the local search for yourself, and you saw that you do have BSS, or you not the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, and or you also did that same search, city search, for yourself, and you may have had BSS for your city, or you may have not have hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for your city page one on Google. So you see you got BSS as it stands right now. You also understand the market saturation, a new phone, new camera, 2 prongs, but you understand this third prong, which is AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs. So not only do you want to fortify, to basically compete with the current boudoir photographers using S-cubed methodology as your preferred solution, to kind of get more slots on page one, kick more people off page one currently. But you see, way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market because of AI, because of people losing their jobs. And everyone's got a smartphone with a great camera. So you recognize you need to actually additionally fortify your position from the future boudoir photographers, that it's going to be more and more over time as more and more people lose their jobs, because again, everyone's got a great camera on their smartphone. Easy to throw Google My Business Profile on a website saying they offer boudoir shoots now. And you want to make sure those new peeps, never even get on page one of Google to prevent people from finding them and price shopping you against them. And you understand that the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. You do not have to accept either 0 or 1 slots page one on Google. Google will actually give us as many slots on page one as we want to put in the effort to acquire. So as a result of that, you're seeing S-cubed methodology, like, heck yeah, dude, I don't have a decade to build a brand. I need results much faster, which S-cubed methodology can provide results way faster in building a brand. It also it helps accelerate having a brand as well. That's kind of one of the back-end bonuses of that. And you want to achieve page one visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer, and you want to achieve boudoir search visibility. And you want all that because you know you need it on your way to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. You also want the two unspoken back-end benefits, where the more we execute S-cubed methodology, we're kind of like building up these thematic keyword columns around our social media usernames, our website, our brand, our name. And as we build those thematic keyword columns up, it's invisible, but it increased the probability AI brains recommend us here in for Google AI overviews. Premium placement right at the top, way above everyone. Every day we execute S-cubed methodology correctly, we increase the probability going to be shown in the AI overview. And also, we're increasing the probability the other AI search options are recommending us in their search. So that's ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. We're building up these thematic keyword columns, kind of like spokes on a wheel or spokes on a hub. Our hub is our business name, all our social accounts. We're building up this invisible kind of AI brain mindshare, invisible momentum that only AI can see and pull from to be recommended. And the last time I did, I searched for boudoir photographers in a city. The city had like 60 when I went and looked manually, but it only ChatGPT search only recommended 3. So we're going to increase the probability we get that by successfully utilizing S-cubed methodology. And the final thing on the back end is you want to be a first mover on this because you see, my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And so you're saying, man, you can get the current benefits, more slots on page 1, and kick off current boudoir photographers from page 1, make them visible page 2 and deeper, and fortify yourself against future boudoir photographers coming into the market from losing their jobs via AI, and the back-end mind share of AI overview for Google and AI default search by being early adopter, working with me first in your city, and crowd out all your other competitors from working with me. Because again, my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And you also see if your competitor instead jumps in with me first, then you'll actually have to re-engineer S-cubed methodology somehow, recreate it, rederive it somehow, do all that testing, and you'll never be 100% confident you've rederived it correctly. But so you'd have to take all the time to rederive it or derive it for yourself the first time, and then go execute and implement it. While me and your competitor have already made a massive gap ahead of you, and if you executed the same S-cubed methodology as us every day, you would simply maintain the gap. You would have to literally outwork us 2 or 3x every single day to make up the space, make up that gap, and actually make progress, pull the thematic keyword column momentum from your competitor's brand over to your brand. And, dude, who's got that much time in a day? Who has that much time? So you realize, screw that. You'd rather simply be first one early mover of your city to kick out all your competitors from using this against you. And obviously, I'll get all these benefits we talked about already. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM when my DM's open. My DMs are currently closed. New patient intake at the hospital is currently closed. So watch these videos. Wait for when I do open up the hospital, open up the new patient intake, and then shoot me a DM, and we'll see if you qualify to use S-cubed methodology.